We had a class on I believe it was the 19th, Saturday, and there were some people that were awfully frustrated by a man who came in with a statement, "Could it be?" And I would like to take the time to capitalize on how important what our brother Joseph was sharing with us, because a lot of people, it went over their heads, and I've had some more time to reflect upon the questions that he was posing and the importance of asking questions versus making statements. The onus of probandi always falls upon the one who makes a statement. And by making a statement, you create controversy for which the ministerial administrator has the authority to administer, okay? And this isn't going to be a very long video because my battery's about to die. And again, I made a statement, so now I've got to prove that my battery's about to die. Well, here I'm at 15%, so here in about 5 minutes, it's just going to fall off the map, 10 minutes or so. And that'll be your empirical proof that my battery's dying, right? So I made a statement there that my battery's dying. And now I have an obligation. The onus of probandi falls back on me to prove it. And what he was making a very valid point about was you can't be a name. Can you be a name? I'm led to believe that you cannot be a name. And I want you to pay particular attention to the way that I address it. Instead of making a statement, I'm led to believe, belief being the lack of knowledge, not making a statement. I'm led to believe that you can't be a name. Can I be the name? I'm led to believe that you need or want me to be a thing so you have jurisdiction. I'm led to believe you're looking for me to make a statement so I can create the controversy between plaintiff and co-plaintiff, because there really isn't a defendant. And so could it be that you need me to be a thing? Because remember, the only jurisdictional issue becomes whether or not you're a thing. Because if you're not a thing and you are a man, they have no jurisdiction over man. They only have jurisdiction over corporations, things, property. But if you're a man, you don't rightfully qualify to be in that venue, in that jurisdiction, okay, in maritime admiralty jurisdiction. So where's the remedy? Where do we find resolve? Well, quite simply, if we have a right to face our accuser as a man, and I can't clearly be the name, is the claimant here today so that I may provide remedy? That's equity. That's I as a man saying, if there's a claimant in this building that has been caused harm by me, by either my ignorance or blatant negligence or willful act, please let them come forward today so that I may provide remedy. It's one of the things that most people miss. We want to identify the claimant, right? Well, the state is a figment of man's imagination, so there is no claimant. But I don't dare state that fact, because then the onus of probandi comes back on me. Rather, I ask the question, is the claimant here today prepared to testify with firsthand knowledge under the pains and penalties of perjury, bringing forward a claim that is independently bonded, should he cause I as a man harm? I am simply here to provide remedy, for there are no facts in dispute. I waive no benefits, or I waive all benefits without God. So could it be there's no claimant? Could it be that the prosecutor is participating in identity theft? Could it be that there actually is a falsified record or claim being made by the DA in order to unjustly enrich themselves? Could it be that without a victim, there could be no crime? Everybody was pretty flustered with our brother Joseph the other night, and he may or may not have been drinking. I can't affirm that, because if I make a statement, then of course I have to prove it. And it's hearsay at this point coming from me that if I believe he was drinking, that's a lack of knowledge. Could it be that he was drinking? Perhaps. Can I make that statement and affirm it? No, I can't. And to make that statement, then the onus of probandi falls back on me. And if I can't prove that claim, guess what? I owe Joseph something because I made a claim, which could be perceived as slander or defamation of character, right? And the only thing we got in this world is our word, and our word is our bond. And character is very, very, very important. Character is it's a property trait. Okay, it's something of value. To diminish someone's character brings down the value, right? And that causes harm by way of slander and defamation. So it's a trespass, yes? So whether or not he was drinking should always be posed in a question versus a statement. Could it be that Joseph was under the influence of spirits the other night? Perhaps. Perhaps. Could it be? But who am I to say? Because I have no firsthand knowledge of the fact, right? I just wanted to touch base on that because it's so important what Joseph was saying, even in the equity class that we had on the 19th. And I think everybody should have an opportunity to capitalize on that. When making statements, the onus of probandi goes from the plaintiff to you as the co-plaintiff. The prosecutor acting as the beneficiary in the trust, the resulting trust or the constructive trust that has been created by the charges being brought up. Now, with all obligations being the obligations of the United States, which I can affirm that because it's in their own literature, their literature, ladies and gentlemen, in the commercial world, in commercial realm, how am I to pay? You know, I'd love to provide remedy if there's a claimant here today that is going to come forward and state the harm, injury, damage, or loss that was caused by I, whether through willful negligence or just sheer ignorance, or there's a contract out there floating around that I have a obligation to fulfill as a man. I would love to provide remedy today. Case closed. It's over. It's done. There's nothing they can do to you. Same thing with child support. They allege I owe a debt, right? But it's not I that they speak of, for they speak in tongues. They speak in riddles, because what's truly on the documentation is not English, ladies and gentlemen. And in order to have an ascension of the mind, we'd have to be speaking the same language. I would have to have a grammatic expert professor come to the court and subpoena him to the court, or her to the court, to find out whether or not what they're really legitimately doing is communicating. For all intents and purposes, it's trickery of the mind to get you to unknowingly consent in their legal realm to being a thing. The presence of the body waives the error in the name. The pleading waives all errors in the process. If you plead guilty, not guilty, no contest, you just waived all the errors. Your appealable issue is out the fucking window. It matters not. It's gone. But I'll tell you this much. If you have to go to an appeals court, if you're forced in that direction, one of the best things you could know is, could it be that you need me to be the name? Could it be that there is no claimant here today to state a cause of action? Could it be you lack subject matter jurisdiction because of that fact? Could it be, if nobody is a party of interest here today, a man or a woman stating a claim, then there is a claim being brought forth for which relief cannot be granted? Could it be? The appellate court never hears the audios in the room. Ever. Ever. It's all based upon what the stenographer has typed up, verbatim, allegedly, from what comes from you and your spirit and your essence. I can violate the letter of the corporate statutes, codes, policies, city ordinances all day. There's nothing they can do to me about it. Not a damn thing, ladies and gentlemen, because they can't deal with a man. And I am not a volunteer servant, okay? I am not a volunteer to their construct and the fiction of man's imagination. I seek no benefits from their creation at all. I only serve one master, one. Therefore, I can't take directives from another alleged master, right? Because I only follow one, our Heavenly Father, who lives within each and every one of us. Everybody always points to the sky. You need to start looking in the mirror through the windows to your soul to realize the God conscience is within you to do good works for your fellow man, your fellow brothers and sisters. So could it be that everything they're doing is to fleece you of your labor for your ignorance? Could it be? Right? Somebody needs to make some hats and shirts that say, could it be? So you can start going into court, and when you get lost, you can go, huh, could it be that you need me and want me to be the name? Can I be a name? Just that alone ends the court case. Even if they continue to proceed on, you just keep kicking that dead horse because they can't overcome that shit. Could it be there's no claimant today, and that's why the prosecutor's change is jingling in his pocket over there because he's nervous as a whore in church on Easter Sunday? Could it be that he hasn't repented and he's bearing false witness against his fellow brother and man under a title, under the guise that he's doing something great for society? Could it be that he's a liar and bearing false witness, which is a crime? Could it be that he's engaged in fraud upon this court by bearing false witness, by presenting alleged charges and allegations that he himself cannot testify with firsthand knowledge? Could it be we have a rat in the woodpile? Could it be? So for those of you that joined me in class the other day, that was a very, very, very special moment with Joseph that I think went over a lot of people's heads and that weren't quite ready for it, because it works all the time. Now remember, if you have accepted an attorney by your silence and acquiescence when they say, are you going to waive your right to an attorney? I waive no rights at all. And I waive all benefits without God. And I'm pretty firm on that. In fact, I'm absolute on that. Without question, I stand with conviction. I waive all benefits without God. Period. I don't need man at all. Right? And so when you're waiving their system, when you're waiving their benefits, and you stand firmly on sound principles and law. Law is very simple. Do no harm. Don't bear false witness against anybody. Mind your business. Take care of your own. Love thy neighbor as you love thyself. And that and there becomes an issue with most people because they truly don't love themselves anymore. They live in a gluttonous world where they take 5,000 pictures of themselves every day in vain and vanity because they need somebody to accept them for who they want to be or wish to be, or they need to be liked. But the truth is, you can't love your neighbor until you truly love yourself. It's about waking up. It's about ascending of the mind. It's about saying enough is enough. No other man wearing a badge, a title, operating through title, has the jurisdiction, all right, to tell me what to do, absent an actual injury to another. Period. Could it be that when the cop turned on their lights and I merged to the edge of the road, could it be I was just getting out of his way because he declared an emergency and obviously there was somebody he needed to go help? Could it be that that's why I pulled to the side of the road? But no, what's the cop say? Comes to the car right away and he says, well, you know why I pulled you over? And most of us are so ignorant, we go, not sure. I was speeding. Right there, you just created the controversy. You just accepted what he is saying. You just pulled yourself into a commercial realm when you could have said, could it be I merely got out of your way because you declared an emergency and I was just merely merging to the right side so you could go by and handle that affair? Do you need my help? Could it be that the reason I stopped is because you might need my assistance, and as a lawful man, I'm here to render aid to my fellow brothers and sisters if it be required of me? Could it be? How quickly we can turn the table with a different mindset. I've done this stuff in court a lot of times. Everybody's got magic potions, special spells that they write on paper. Most of the stuff I've done in a court, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't require paper. A little bit of bravado and brass balls and knowing who the hell you are makes a big difference in saying it with conviction, not wavering when they threaten you with direct contempt of court. All right, I need a little bit of clarification. Could it be the statutes, codes, city ordinances, and provisions don't apply to me, including contempt of court, direct contempt of court, right? Because direct contempt of court only applies to agents and agency, correct? Could it be there is no contractual nexus between us? Could it be that there is no controversy here, right? Could it be that your only job is to offset and balance the books for these alleged felonious charges that have been created? And that could it be that you have an obligation as a fiduciary trustee in breach of public policy, breach of your oath of office, breach of public trust, to balance these books out and return the trust res to I as a man and make me whole? Could it be? I want to thank everybody for donating to the class to help me continue to do what I'm doing. Class is being uploaded to Mega at this point, and I will be sending that out to everybody that participated. Share it with who you like. After all, I'm not like the rest of the people out there that are granting information or gifting information to people and saying, if you turn around and give this to people, I'm going to come after you. That's such cockamamie horse shit. Nobody's got time for that. It's time to stop feuding and fighting amongst each other over race, over religion, over all this other stuff, and get clarity on who really is usurping your power by imprisoning your mind through indoctrination. And I guarantee it's not me. It's not your next door neighbor. It's not the people who are talking on Facebook to one another, trying to ascend of the mind, trying to find a path. And let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, in over 10,000 years, if there was a clear-cut path to divinity, to finding the truth, to a method of execution to be left alone by these pirates, by these gun-toting, thieving morons on the side of the road, trust me, after 10,000 years, somebody would have a direct path. There is no direct path, ladies and gentlemen. The path is carved by you because you are unique, you are individual, you are a man or a woman who has his own path or her own path to travel. There is no direct answer. There is no right or wrong answer. It's whether or not you have the gumption and the tenacity to stand for yourself, stand for your fellow community, and stand for your brothers and sisters. That's what it boils down to, ladies and gentlemen. And you're not going to go find God. Good luck. If you're out there looking for God, you won't find God. God finds you when you're in the barrel of despair, when you're in the bottom of that barrel and you got nothing left to lose. That's when he'll reach out and touch you. I promise you that. You can look for God all day long. You may never find him. But if you sit there and you contemplate and you think about all the things that need to be changed in your life to ascend to the mind, and you sit there and you ask for his help, and you ask for his forgiveness, and you start reading that good book, ladies and gentlemen, he'll come to you. In the time of your greatest darkness, and he'll tell you, don't leave my side. Trust in me. I will walk you through that furnace. I will walk you through that fire, and you will come out the other side with a higher understanding and the competency to be able to perfect and protect your family, your friends, your community. And that's what we need today. In this day and age, through such trying times, when the deception is beyond all belief, when the computer screens and the news media and the radio stations are all throwing propaganda down your throat, and yet we deny our brothers and sisters who have firsthand knowledge of what's really going on because, well, I heard on news media, that guy's a sovereign citizen. Oh, I read in the paper, he was arrested. He's definitely guilty. The cops would never break the law. In fact, they're there to hold the law. They're there to uphold the law, ladies and gentlemen. So the second that man got arrested, we know he was guilty of something. Get rid of that propaganda in your mind. Let it leave your head and start looking at things rationally, practically, and know for a fact, let's go with this one. Could it be that statutes, codes, city ordinances don't apply to you? Start asking questions. Start asking questions. These people are supposed to be all-knowing, all-powerful, supposed to be administering the grace of God. So why not just ask them a question instead of making a statement? Make them testify for you and see how quickly the game changes. Could it be you need me to be the name? Well, no, you either are the name or you're not. I'm either going to issue a warrant for this person's arrest. Well, person, could it be that a person is a dead entity? Could it be? Right? And we just keep asking questions. You're going to issue a warrant, right, for a person. Could it be that a person is a dead entity? Could it be that that's the reason you issue a summons, is to conjure the dead? Could it be I'm not the man or woman you seek? Could it be? Are you looking for a man or woman? Could it be that you're not looking for a man or woman? Could it be that dissimilar things should not be joined, and that could it be that similar is not same? Although my Christian appellation appears to be like that, it's not like that. And because similar is not same by any sense or means of the word, could it be that you have made an egregious mistake? A forgivable one, no doubt. But could it be? So thanks for joining me in class the other day. Thanks again, Joseph. I really enjoyed the commentary. I know a lot of people were upset. And I'm going to continue to do videos on equity, because equity, when you need to make a claim as a man or a woman, equity is where you're going to find your relief. Not in the commercial courts, not in the commercial side of the venue. Equity, where what should be done shall be done, and where you must come with clean hands, which means you must provide notice and opportunity. You must create the correspondence along with the supporting evidence and make the claim in a true bill due and owing, a bill in equity, which is an itemized list of everything, all right, followed by your private administrative process. Is it your intent not to pay this true bill due and owing? Because once they fail to respond to that, now it becomes a trespass causing I harm by way of a debt. Because that true bill due and owing now becomes a debt due and owing, right? And it's a trespass. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll leave you with this. Could it be that everything you've ever been taught in your life is a lie? Could it be?